start now? Done. Redirecting to YouTube. So we are now live on YouTube. There we go. All of you are there, nicely smiling on YouTube. Congratulations. You're YouTube stars now. Okay. All right. Seeing this verse now, I wanted us to look at this verse. Okay, I'll just share the screen. Right, 3:29:37. This is in Sanskrit language, Dwayne, especially for you, but the same is also given in English as well here. All right, and then there are synonyms when given of each word. What does it mean? Each of the given references, in English. And then there is translation, and then there is a purport, and then we discuss on this, Right. So if all of you can repeat after me, please. Rupa Bhedaspadam Divyam Kala Iti Abhidhiyate Bhutanam Mahad Adinam Yato Bhinna Drusham Bhayam. So this particular discussion that we are having, this is an advanced level discussion. And the 6 o'clock class would be that of for the more of beginners and those who are trying to understand what we're teaching. But this is way advanced for all of them. But it is also very important that people can understand at what levels we need to go through to really understand this metaphysical world, the material world, to understand the spiritual world. Okay. Rupa Bhedaspadam Divyam Kala Iti Abhidhiyate Bhutanam Mahad Adinam Yato Bhinna Drusham Bhayam. Rupa Bhedaspadam Divyam Kala Iti Abhidhiyate Bhutanam Mahad Adinam Yato Bhinna Drusham Bhayam. Rupa Bhedaspadam Divyam Kala Iti Abhidhiyate Bhutanam Mahad Adinam Yato Bhinna Drusham Bhayam. Word to word synonyms, translations, and purport by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's come to the synonyms. Rupa Bheda, of the transformation of forms. Aspadam, the cause. Divyam, divine. Kalaha, time. Iti, thus. Abhidhiyate, is known. Bhutanam, of living entities. Mahat Adinam, beginning with Lord Brahma, Yataha, because of which, Bhinna Drusham, with separate vision, Bhayam, fear. So, of the transformation of forms, the cause, divine, time, thus is known of living entities beginning with Lord Brahma, because of which, with separate vision, fear. Jai. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The time factor which causes the transformation of various material manifestations is another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone who does not know that time is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is afraid of time factor. Jai. Purport. Can someone like to read this purport, please? Sorry, who's the volunteer?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Avinash?
Are you?
Yeah,
Do you
okay.
want? Yeah. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Everyone is afraid of activities of time. But a devotee who knows that the time factor is another representation or manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has nothing to fear from the influence of time. The phrase Rupa Bhedaspadam is very significant. By the influence of time, so many forms are changing. For example, when a child is born, his form is small. But in the course of time, that form changes into a larger form. The body of a boy and then the body of a young man. Similarly, everything is changed and transformed by the time factor or by the indirect control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Usually, we do not see any difference between the body of a child and the body of a boy or young man because we know that these changes are due to the action of the time factor. There is cause for fear for a person who does not know how time acts. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you.
Jai. Thank you very much, Avinash. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Now, in this verse, this word, this Rupa Bhedam is transformation of the forms. Rupa means form. Bheda meaning change, or differentiation. Or in this sense, there is transformation. Yeah. So it is said that of the transformation of forms, aspadam is the cause. This is a very important word here. Rupa Bhedaspadam means a cause which transforms the forms. It's very important. We were small children. Our form has been transformed now to adults. So there's a cause for it. And that cause is divyam. Divyam means divine. Okay. So no matter how much we want to remain young, this body is under the control of a divine energy. And the divine energy controls everything about all the transformation that takes place in this material world. And then in the second line, first word, it is given, what is it? It says Kala. Kala means time. Iti thus, sir, Abhidhyate is known, Bhutanam of living entities, Mahat Adinam, beginning with Lord Brahma. You see? Brahma is who? Who is Lord Brahma? Lord Brahma is the creator of this universe. He creates on the basis of the Lord Krishna. Basically, in Krishna's different expansions of that of Vishnu's. Then, Yataha, because of which, Bhinna Drusham, with separate vision, means those who have got separate vision from the vision of God, they have got bhayam, they are fearful. This is the point to be understood. You see? So those living beings who have got vision which is separate from the Lord. What do you mean by separate vision from the Lord? What is the meaning of this? Separate vision from the Lord. Separate vision from the Lord means that those who have not spent time in understanding this material world, where it comes from, who the Creator is. Once we understand the knowledge behind this whole thing, then we are not afraid. Otherwise, we are very, very afraid. That is a point to be understood here. Yeah? Okay. Otherwise, for devotees means those who are devoted to God, to understanding that where this material world is coming from, how all this has come, where it is going, at what stage we are in. From them, they see the divine vision of the Lord. They say with the divine vision of the Lord. And that is the reason why they are not afraid of all these things. Rupa Bhedaspadam Divyam. This is very important. Yeah. Now, in this material world, time is a tool with which Krishna manages things. This is very nicely described in the third canto, 10th chapter, 11th verse, where Maitreya Muni, in his discussion with, he is giving this information about the creation of the time, to Mahatma Vidur, and how the Lord manages this. Now, I'll give this verse also here. We will share this verse on the screen. Right, here is the verse. So Maitreya Muni is saying, Maitreya uvacha guna vyati karakaro nirvishesho apratistitaha purushastad upadanam atmanam lilaya srujat. See here, translation. Maitreya said, eternal time is the primeval source of the interactions of the three modes of material nature. It is unchangeable and limitless, and it works as the instrument of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pastimes in the material creation. See, in this one particular verse, there are so many instructions been given by Maitreya Muni. So he says that eternal time, the sage Maitreya is saying that eternal time is a primeval source, means it's a very old source, original source of what? Interactions of the three modes of material nature. So as we know that material world is nothing else but the interactions of the three modes of material nature. Or what are three modes? Mode of passion, mode of goodness, mode of ignorance. All these things, how they affect living beings. Not only living beings, even higher beings, lower beings than human beings, and even those who are covered beings, with consciousness being covered, like trees, etc. You see, so time affects everyone, And time is the essential factor which causes the interaction of the three modes of material nature. Otherwise, the three modes are just the energies of Krishna, which are lying dormant in the creation, before the creation, during the creation. So when he puts in the time factor, it starts to interact. So all those three starts to interact. 3 becomes 9, 9 becomes 81, 81 times 3, 81 times 3 times 3, times 3 times 3 times 3, all this keeps going. And then when we are born, any living being is born, he's interacted, he is constantly bombarded with these three modes. Now, again, the feature of the time is given here in this verse. It says this eternal time is unchangeable. No one can change the time. What does that mean? No one can change the time. I can lay a bet that every one of us wants to change the time in some way, try to control the time. 24 hours is less time for us. Krishna, give me 1 hour more. I can finish my work. Everybody will run around, especially those ladies, Matajis or my mothers would be struggling with this, when they are cooking, cleaning, job, all these things, taking care. It's quite distressing. So give me more time. But Krishna is very clever. He gives you this much time. If you use it properly, then we can manage it very well. So time is unchangeable. You can't change the time. Second thing is saying that time is limitless. You cannot say time is finished now. We can't say it is 5:26 p.m. New Zealand time. No, time is over. We can't say it is exhausted. No, it is not exhausted. It continuously expands. It was there in the past when our grandfathers, grandparents, great-grandparents, their parents, their great-great-grandparents, whoever were there, time existed then, and time is existing now. Time will exist till the time the creation happens, continues. So this is another feature of time. So unchangeable, limitless. Then the most important feature of time is given as it is works as an instrument in the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna for his pastimes in the material creation. You see? So the three forms of Vishnu, which creates, maintains, and destroys this material world, the Karanadaksaya Vishnu, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. With these three Vishnus, the time element works as an instrument in their hands to create, maintain, and destroy it. So time is an impersonal representative of Krishna. If you go to see, there are big philosophers who think about time, analyze about time. They say, well, time is equal to everybody. Is it not so? You cannot say that, okay, I'm a great, powerful person. I'm the president of America. So time gives me more time. It gives me 25 and a half hours per day. No, it does not. It gives 24 hours to everybody. You see, it is equal to everybody. This equality concept of time is just like a representative of Krishna, where Krishna says, I'm equal to everyone. I'm not biased to anybody, but those who, out of love and friendship, have a relationship with me, I have the relationship with them. Similarly, with those who appreciate time, time is the greatest friend. And those who do not appreciate time, time is the greatest enemy. You see, we keep chasing our tail all the time, if you are not. The biggest enemy, time. Now, in the spiritual world, time doesn't have any relationship. It exists, but no control, as we know. Okay? So now, big philosophers, they are constantly thinking and meditating about the time. They say and they understand that time is an impersonal feature of Krishna. Time creates something Time modifies things, it changes things, it transforms things, and ultimately it destroys everything in this material world. Nothing is going to remain in this material world. Nothing. We all know this. We all know this. But still, we live as if it's okay. That's all right. I'm not going to be destroyed today. When Yudhishthir Maharaj were asked this question by Yamaraj, among the many questions that, what is the most wonderful thing in this world? So Yudhishthir Maharaj answered this question. Ahani ahani bhutani gachantiha yamalayam. He says that Shesha vastavaram icchanti ki mascharya atah param. So he's saying that the most wonderful thing in this world is that every single day, every single minute, thousands and thousands of living beings are dying. And we see that. But everybody thinks he's not going to die so soon. This is the most wonderful thing. And the god of death, Yamaraj, said, you are absolutely correct. Ani ani bhutani gachantiha yamalaya. Sheshavasthavaram icchanti kimascharya atah param. Ascharyam. Very, wonderful thing this is, man. Yeah. And this was one point when I became serious about life, was when I saw that as a young man, as a teenager, when I realized I'm not invincible with all my bodybuilding and all those things. And I saw everyone around me, my seniors, when I saw in Bombay, they're walking, they're going to job, doing their normal things. I said, nobody's thinking about death. I'm the only one who's petrified by death. I said, I'm going to die. My youth is not going to remain youth. It's going to change. And nobody was thinking like this. Believe you me, I was very, very, very surprised. And I said, how can people just keep on living like this when they are knowing they are going to die? And they're running, going for a job in the morning, coming back in the evening, taking care of the family, doing all these things. Nobody's worried about now. When I tell them that, hey, we are going to die. He said, don't talk about death. Let your enemies die. So we are foolish, number one. And death for sure exists and comes in front of us every single moment. So all these big scientists and philosophers, they are thinking about death, and they are petrified. You see, many years ago in New Zealand, I was working for an organization, media company before. So there, they would like the philosophy that I was discussing all the time. They say Ambarisa is going to he'll be a philosopher. He'll have a big following of people. Is going to be. I said, no, don't worry about me. So we were having this discussion, this point, and I was talking about how less time we're working, and I was talking how less time we have got. We're all going to die and all those things. And my favorite topic, So I remember one of my office colleagues, she said, oh, well, yes, we have got short life. So let's enjoy. So enjoy. This is a solution. Enjoy. Time is short, so let's enjoy. I said, not really. There is again closing the eyes to death, We should know why there is death in the first place. Is it not so? Can we avoid death? So the time factor is equal to everybody. At the end of it, it takes everything from us. And there is Krishna's impersonal form. So I told them, no, it's not the case. It's much more to life than enjoyment. And we need to enjoy. Our enjoyment is temporary. You drink too much alcohol, you're going to vomit next day morning. That's not enjoyment. Is it enjoyment? Doctors say don't drink so much alcohol. Is it enjoyment? No. You want to have sex all the time? Well, you'll have AIDS or some other things, man. It is said in the Vedic scriptures that to get 33 grams of semen, it takes about, you have to consume about 44 kilograms of food material. Just imagine this. You don't believe me? Ask Google. ask your guru. You don't trust me? No, ask guru. They'll say the same thing. Don't worry about it. Don't waste your time. Yeah. And it is this semen particle in the body that is very important, because the control of the semen particle, it can take us to higher levels of consciousness. Spiritually, even materially. Even there are athletes who do not engage in illicit sex or any sex. They remain brahmachari. Brahmachari means control of the semen particle. Do you know? You don't believe me? Ask Google. Type Google and say, show me the athletes who do not, have sex for best. I'll tell you, Mike Tyson, the boxer, Bishum, yeah, top boxer. He did not. He said, no, this is where it is. It gives me strength like a bull, So many of them. Tennis stars. Most of tennis stars are like this, You may think they are very glamorous, they'll have sex all the time. No, if they do it, they'll not be able to perform. You require stamina. So the younger generation especially should know about these things, And I'm very happy it is said that in New Zealand, the younger generation now are not very keen about mobile phones and binge drinking and all that. Do you know, have you read this report? It came about 2 weeks ago. In the Herald it mentioned. It was very good. Best time to talk about Krishna consciousness. Save yourselves. You can be anybody, man. You can be Christian, Muslim, doesn't matter. But this is universal rule. You cannot say, because I'm Christian, I'm not going to die. Of course you're going to die. I'm a Hindu, I'm not going to die. Of course you're going to die. You see? So this death, it predominates in the psyche of everybody, And that is what makes people think all the time, oh, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. We're going to die. So the difference between an ordinary person and a devotee philosopher is that how to utilize this short duration of life which has been given to us. And Srimad Bhagavatam that we're discussing today, this Srimad Bhagavatam is a perfect example of how to utilize time, because Maharaj Parikshit 5,000 years ago was cursed to die in 7 days' time, right? By a Brahmana boy. He said in 7 days a flying snake will come and bite you. So he said, okay, I'm going to stop everything. I'm going to now meditate upon what is the purpose, what is the duties of a person who's dying. And for him, the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam was recited. All the sages from around the world came to discuss with him, to tell him. 80,000 of them. And among them, Narad Muni also came. Vyas Bhagwan was also there, the compiler of all the Vedas. Vyas Bhagwan, he was there. But they chose not Vyas, not Narad. They chose another great personality, Shukdev Goswami, who was the son of Vyasadeva, who, hearing this whole Srimad Bhagavatam, which his father Vyasadeva narrated to his wife, means his mother, when he was in the womb of his mother. Just imagine. Because in the womb of the mother, the hearing is very powerful. You don't believe me? You won't believe me. I'll tell you, my son was born, my son here, and when he was still very, very tiny, how he would cry, not wah, he would say, Angai. Angai. Like this he would cry. Why, Krishna? Remember this? No, you don't remember. Why? Because the mother, when the childbirth was crying out, Aiga, Aiga, Aiga with Hare Krishna. So that's what the child heard. You see? So that is important for the child hears. Don't think child don't hear in the womb of the mother. They hear everything very perfectly well. And of course, we chanted Hare Krishna. We were with her. We chanted this. So, in the womb of the mother, Maharaj Parikshit, Sukadeva Goswami heard the whole Bhagavatam. That's why he was asked to give the, recite the whole Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. In 7 days, what is to be done? How to utilize one's time. Now, the influence of time being very powerful is that it decays everything. Even this beautiful body decays. You see these big, big Hollywood stars, Bollywood stars, when they grow old, the body is decaying, man. Now, in the Srimad Bhagavad, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse number 34, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that as soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. How true? This breath that we are taking now is not going to come back. What we are discussing today is going to become a dream tomorrow. Is it not so? So, Prabhu, am I right? Yes, it becomes a dream tomorrow. No matter whatever you do, it's not going to come again, this discussion. So we should live this life fully, God consciously, to understand where it has come from, why we are living, why there is death, why there is birth. Then there is some positive meaning to this life. Not as enjoyment. By doing that, you enjoy exponentially so much. You're in complete bliss all the time when you understand the answer. So, as soon as a man is born, Prabhupada writes, he dies at every moment. Thus, death is devouring every living entity at every moment. It makes everybody die. Every moment, every living entity, they are dying. So, but the last stroke is called death itself, Srila Prabhupada writes. And that death is Krishna. How beautiful. Now, this is from the Bhagavad Gita 10:34, where Krishna is saying to Arjuna, Mrutyuhu sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam. So, Mrutyuhu sarvaharashchaham, Krishna is telling. Mrutyuhu means death. Sarvaharashchaham means I take away everything from you at the time of death. Krishna is saying this. I am all devouring death. Udbhavascha bhavishyatam. And I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. These two things in these first two lines, Krishna is saying. And then he describes the qualities of women, feminine qualities of fine speech, chastity, etc. But it's very interesting. In his first two lines, he gives the reference of birth and death. Mrutyuhu sarva haraschaham. I'm all devouring death, first line. Second line, and I'm the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Now, how this death is so much ingrained in the human psyche, death, of philosophers and human beings, that the father of nuclear bomb, does anybody know who's the father of nuclear bomb? Anybody knows his name? Don't Google it now. Stop doing this. Sorry, who's this? Parth? Yes. Tell me, what is the name of the father of nuclear bomb? Don't Google.
No. Robert Oppenheimer.
Very good. Very good. He's saying J. Robert Oppenheimer. Now, he is the father of nuclear bomb. In 16th of July 1945, the very first nuclear bomb was exploded and tested. Okay. Now, this was tested in a site, it's called Trinity Test Site, in Alamogordo, New Mexico. This was a very secret project during the World War II, where the Allied forces had already won the war, but still this project was called the Manhattan Project. And this Manhattan Project was this project of nuclear bomb. Now, I want us to go there at that time, which is at the moment captured in memory in the form of our YouTube video. And I'll share you that video, okay? Just bear with me, please. Please watch this carefully.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In the dead silence of the morning, at 5:29:45 Mountain War time, the Jornada del Muerto was bathed in an intense flash of a light that man had only seen from the stars.
He knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
There we go. So he quoted this particular verse 1034 immediately after this nuclear explosion. Mrutyuhu sarva haraschaham. So, but because we are so negatively thought, we do not see the next line which says Udbhavas cha bhavishyatam, and I'm the generating principle of all that is yet to be. You see? And in this August month, the world commemorated the 75th anniversary of Hiroshima bombing. On the 6th August 1945, the US bomber dropped this bomb, killing 140,000 people, unfortunately. And then this Oppenheimer, he became the biggest proponent of not to use nuclear bomb. He said, don't use this. And then he was discredited in many ways in this world, you know. But here you go. Here you go. So on this sobering note, we talk about what we've discussed so far is that time is an impersonal element equal to everybody. And time, nobody can capture it. We saw another verse of Bhagavatam which spoke about how the features of time and how time works as an instrument in the hands of Krishna. We saw Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, at the time of death, I take away everything. So time is actually death. Because every breath that we take, we have died one breath. We are now one breath less. Now, how does the time calculate in this universe? You're interested in this? I'm very interested. Some of you would know, you know. How does the time element, when is the whole creation, how long it is going to last? And in the Vedas, they talk about time having its influence differently in different planets. Like Srila Prabhupada says that in the Vedas it is mentioned that in the heavenly planets, 6 months of Earth is equivalent to 1 day of heavenly planets. You may say, what? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Who's saying you should believe it? You know, don't make a face like this, a monkey. You know, don't. But if you Google, ask your Google guru, you know, best friend, always right. Google is always right. Is it not so? Google, what is the time? 1 day on moon equivalents to how many days on Earth? And press enter. They will say, the Google will give the answer, 1 day in moon equivalents to 655.72 earthly hours, which is about 27.32 days. Did you know? Did you know? So 1 day on moon equivalents to 27.32 earthly days. So moon is, as it is, a bit higher planet. As you go further more, it goes even more. Now, to understand this whole cycle of this universe with the calculations of the universe, I wanted to spend a little time on the calculation of this particular universe as per the Vedic cycle. You see, we know that as we started our discussion, by saying that the three Vishnus, the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the Mahavishnu, the cause of the creation, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from his navel, Lord Brahma appears in each of the universe. So every universe, there is one personality who heads the universe, as a president. Now, every universe, there is one Brahma. Depending upon the size of the universe, the Brahma's heads and size differ. Because he has to manage things. You see, so many things he has to manage. Yeah, you've got a CEO. CEO has got one executive assistant. Some of them may have three executive assistants because they all do it depending upon the work. You know how much there got so many people working around them. Similarly, Brahma has got those many heads, around. So the current Brahma of this universe has got 4 heads, because this particular universe is the smallest in the whole universes. It is given. These definitions are given. This information is given in the Vedas. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says these points. Now, let us try and see the calculation of this universe on Lord Brahma's time. Right? Now, all of us would know, you understand that for this calculation, certain basic things have to be understood. That the cycle of yugas, each yuga. Currently, we are living in the Kali Yuga cycle. So there are total 430,000 years for each yuga. So there is a Sati Yuga, there is a Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Now, in this Yuga cycle, 432,000 times 10 finishes one whole cycle of Kali Yuga, of the Sati Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Okay. So 432,000 times 10 comes to how many? Some 4,032,000, 43,020,000 years is only about 43.20 seconds in Brahma's day. So Brahma, you will wake up, he says, what is on my mobile phone? I check any information has come. Has any information has come? Now this 40 seconds are over. One Yuga cycle is finished on earthly planet. 430,000 times 10 finished. 43.20 seconds. Yeah. Don't laugh, Krishnadas. Wait and what more. Now I have done some calculation on Brahma's day. We will do this calculation in a way that we'll find out today. We've done this calculation in the past, but I have not given you detailed working. I'll show the detailed working this time, okay? That Brahma lives for 100 years. So we'll go per day. Brahma's one day equals to how much? If it is 43.20 seconds equals to 432,000 times 10 years, earthly years. So how many is his day? How many years are in his days? How many years in month and year? And we will calculate that which day we are currently residing in Brahma's day. Right now it is 5:54 p.m. on the 23rd of August. We're 23rd of August today, right? Yeah. So what time is in Brahma's day? We'll find out. All right. Be with me. You ready for our calculations? Open your calculators, please. Start your calculators. Here we go. No to calculate. It's open already here now. Very nice. And I say thank you after all these things. All right. I worked very hard for this. Okay. Here we go. So to understand the gigantic time frame, the calculation of time frame of Krishna only on this one universe. Let us do this work, because it is said that it's a tool in Krishna's hands, right? Let us see the calculation. So 1 yuga cycle equals to 432,000 times 10. So there is this 43.20 seconds in Brahma's day. So let us look at some calculations for this universe. All right. So 1 day of Brahma, a day, means 12 hours of Brahma, equals to how much? 432,000 times 10. Okay, that is this much times 1,000. That is 112 hours of Brahma. This figure, 432,000 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. 432 million, something like that, is 112 hour of Brahma. After that, Brahmaji goes to sleep. He also sleeps, no? He requires rest. When he sleeps, there is partial devastation in this material world. Okay, partial, not fully. Then when he wakes up, there is times 2. Then another, again, the evolution starts again, which is now times 2 becomes 864 and 7 times 0. Okay, this is 124 hour of Brahma. If you multiply this by 30 days, that comes to 259, 2, and then there are 7 zeros. Sorry, 8 zeros. Maybe it's 25 billion, 92 million. Yeah, there is 1 month of Brahma, 30 days. To multiply this by 12, 1 year of Brahma, don't calculate, don't worry about it. It's unimaginable. And like this is 1 year of Brahma, and he lives for 100 years, which total figure is 311 trillion, 40 billion earthly years. All right, anyone has fainted here? No, you don't have fainted? Well, I nearly fainted, you know. Now, in that 1 day of Brahma, there are 14 Indras, Indra Devas who appear. Just see with the calculation, okay? I'm going back there. So we'll go with the calculations, right? Oh, where did I go? Here it is. So there are 14 Brahmas and 14 Manus in this day. Currently, and each of the Manu, he lives for 71 yuga cycles. That means 430,000 times 10 is 1 yuga cycle, times 71 is the Manu lives for that cycle. And the Manu is representative of man. So name man has come from the word Manu. So these are gigantic calculations. Now, currently we are living on the 7th Manu. Okay? So in a 24 hours, 12 hours of when he's alive, when he's awake, there are 14 Manus which appear, of which 6 Manus have come and gone. So we are on the 7th Manu, and this Manu is called Vaivashvat Manu, one of the 3 names. Okay, so that means for this day of Brahma, we are on the 71 cycle times 6 Manus. That is 426 yuga cycles are completed already of 6 Manus. And in that, we are in the Vaivashvat Manu is the 7th Manu, and he is on the 28th yuga cycle. He's not completed full 71. He's on his 28th yuga cycle. And in the last phase of 20th yuga cycle, which is the Kali Yuga. So total speaking, we have completed 584 yuga cycles have been completed in 1 day of Brahma. So that means we are just about before 12 o'clock in the noon. So about between 11:45 to 12 o'clock in the noon, we are existing at the moment of Brahma. Now, which Brahma, which is his year? Let us find out. We can find out Brahma's year by the calculation in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Lord Varahadev's appearance comes. where Lord appears as a boar incarnation. So according to that, we are on the 51st year first day of Lord Brahma. So we are on the first day of the 51st year of Lord Brahma. According to calculations of Bhagavad. Let me just correct this here. Sorry. I'm just doing this as we write. Okay. Now to calculate that, it could be going beyond our time frame here and discussion. But that is Lord Brahma's day currently. He's on the 51st year is completed and he's on the first day of the 51st year. The Lord Varaha's appearance. And we are on the 24th. So we are in the between 11:45 to 12 noon of Brahma's day. That is the calculation of this universe. And on earth where we are located. And we are very proud about this. Ambarisa is very proud about his achievement. All this is one universe talked about with 4 heads of Brahma. There are unlimited universes with unlimited Brahmas. There are Brahmas with 10,000 heads, 1 million head, 10 million heads. You don't believe me? Well, how much do we know? We don't know anything. If you think you know everything, good on you, mate. We don't even know how to kill this coronavirus, man. I don't believe this. Science has progressed. We are going to go to Saturn. Go to Saturn. All the best. Go to Saturn only. Settle in Saturn. You know, we are going to Mars. Yeah. And there's controversy about the moon. Good for them. We are not against science, but we use our own intelligence. Now, all these many Brahmas, all these universes are existing when Mahavishnu, one of three Vishnus, the first Vishnu, Mahavishnu, is exhaling. That's when all these universes have come, all these Brahmas have come. Okay, each Brahma lives for 311 trillion earthly years, right? 0.40 earthly years. And then they die, another Brahma comes, they all live like this, and unlimited Brahmas. Brahmas would live bigger in different universes. When he breathes in, all comes back inside his body, all these universes, and then everything is lying dormant. Now, in one Brahma's day, there are 14 Manus, 14 Indras. Each Manu has got 71 Yuga cycle, and we are living in one Yuga cycle somewhere, flimsily, in one Kali Yuga, on earthly planet. About 5,150 years have completed of this Yuga cycle. Yeah. And we are very proud about ourselves. Now, just imagine this. This 432,000 times 10 Yuga cycle is 43.20 seconds in Brahma's day. But in the spiritual world, those who are in Vaikuntha planets, there the time does not affect there. Time has got no effect there. What they do is, for them, when they are blinking their eyes, one Brahma has come and gone. Another blink, another Brahma has come and gone. Another Brahma has come and gone. Another Brahma has gone. Brahma has gone. Like this. So this is how we understand this whole time frame, the gigantic time frame of this material world. Now Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 16, Abrahma bhuvana lokaha punar avartino arjuna mam upetyatu kaunteya punar janmana vidyate. He says that from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery. From Brahma's planet down to earth, lower planets, hellish planets, all are places of miseries where repeated birth and death, wherein repeated birth and death takes place. No excuse. You cannot go out of birth and death. But, he says, Krishna says, but one who attains my abode, one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So we should be aiming at going back to Godhead. Now, all these calculations, all these opulences that we saw, Krishna further says in chapter 10, verse 42, he says to Arjuna, Athava bahunaitena kim gnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham idam krutsnam ekamshena sthito jagat. He says, but what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Hare Krishna. This is the reason why we love Krishna, don't we? Just like for small ants who live for one day, for them we are like Brahmas. Our one day is equivalent to the 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 life cycles of ants coming and going. Our 1 month will be so many of them. They cannot imagine. Similarly, for that Brahma, we are like this. How difficult is it to find out these things? We just saw that one day on moon planet is equivalent to 27.30 earthly days. Official. This is official. You see? So please, this is the reason why this verse again that we're discussing today, we'll just go to that verse again, that the time factor which causes the transformation of the various material manifestations is another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone who does not know time is the same Supreme Personality is afraid of the time factor. Yeah. With this, I would like to conclude today's discussion. There's a lot of calculations we've gone. A lot of people have asked me for these calculations in the past, which I've given you now. We are above our time. Our next session should start now. But does anyone have any questions, please? Any burning questions?